back to World Crisis Radio. We've gone through the Iranian Middle East front. There'd be much more to say about that Lebanon situation. Wall Street Journal focusing on the growing conventional power of Hezbollah. But basically, that's all covered in my major essay, Obama is Preparing to Bomb Iran. The political response, what came out of Albany was, of course, totally inadequate. It is good that there's an October 2nd march on Washington, but there's got to be more than this. Governor Ed Rendell of Pennsylvania, I think he's been head of the Democratic National Committee lately, says that it's now likely that there will be a primary challenger to Obama. Bring it on, bring it on. 2, 3, many challengers. There's got to be a primary challenge to Obama. Obama has now gone negative in the polls. Take a look at Real Clear Politics or some site of that sort. You'll see that he has slipped into negative territory for the most prolonged period and the most obvious divergence of these two graphs that they've got going there on the chart in the entire time that he's been in office. Now we'll talk about this in the political strategy discussion here in the second hour, but let's look at the economy. Very bad jobs report, right? Very bad report on the development of the U.S. labor market in July. 131,000 jobs lost. It is, as we have stressed, the second wave of the world economic depression. There is no recovery. The recovery is a fraud. The recovery is a bubble. And already we've got this question, are we confronting now deflation? Is a deflationary period already upon us, or is it coming up? Now remember, everything that deals with the consumer price index is a fraud because that doesn't measure the real market basket. That market basket is antiquated. It's been cooked by Michael Boskin back during the mid-1990s. It tells you nothing. So don't rely on that for deflation. However, there might indeed be a threat of deflation, but I think you got to be skeptical at this point. Last week we had that guy from the St. Louis Fed saying that he was worried about it, and you've got various articles here in the financial press this week. We've got the Wall Street Journal of Monday, August 2nd. Big investors fear deflation. Bill Gross of PIMCO is among those bracing for possible decline in prices. It's happening. Well, what does this represent? Remember that from last November until about June, you had the fall of the euro and, to that extent, the rise of the dollar. And, of course, if the dollar becomes worth more, then the prices are held in check, right? The dollar can buy more of the various things on the world market. And, of course, here everything is imported, so that's a big deal. However, we now find out in a couple of articles here, the Wall Street Journal, in their money and investing section, they tell us U.S. data point to a sliding dollar. So on the same page, we've got the jump. Some investors prepare for deflation hazard with the face of our dear friend Gross of PIMCO. We've also got another article saying U.S. data point to sliding dollar, and we're also told the sleepy treasury market may soon awaken, and that may not be good. Now, the interesting fact out of this article is that the maximum of shorts against the euro occurred on May 11th. So the height of the Anglo-American blitzkrieg attempted against the euro, May 11th. It was a blitzkrieg. It's not a market. There is no market. It's cartels, combinations, pools, monopolies, oligopolies, you name it. Not a market. Don't talk about markets. Don't say the economy did something or the market. This is pure alienation, pure mystification. It was a conspiratorial event, as we know, right, from the Moness, Crespi, and Hart meeting. So the maximum euro short interest occurred on the 11th of May, and since then it's been going down, and that means that the forces of depression, those familiar $1.5 quadrillion of toxic-kited bankrupt derivatives that are crushing the world, they are looking now for a new victim, and the pound is there and the dollar is there, and I think these, again, are the ones, unless you can do something to jack up the price of oil. Now, just setting off a little dinghy there in the Hormuz, right, with some psychotic patsy at the tiller, that already gets you up above $80. So think of what could be done with something bigger. So this is the logic that appeals to Wall Street and the City of London. So deflation, I don't know. It's just at the time when you can think that the dollar may be about to head down again in some marked way, perhaps as a result of this bad jobs report. The Wall Street Journal is also reporting that next week, that is to say, we're talking to you here on August 6th, but that next week we may find the Fed making an important decision in one of their secret confabs. Tuesday, August 3rd, Wall Street Journal, Fed mulls symbolic shift. Officials consider putting more money into the bond market as the recovery wavers. In other words, they've got a portfolio of $2.3 trillion of securities, and they have stopped buying them to support the price of these bonds. But now, will they sell them or will they stand pat? Will they hold steady? And I think you're going to find that they're going to have to start buying them again if the dollar begins to slide and the tendency of others to get out of the dollar this time, not the euro, but to dump the dollar, increases. So we'll watch that one. Again, talk about deflation. I'm still skeptical. Take, for example, something very basic, food. The wheat crop in Russia. Russia is, of course, the third largest world producer of wheat, and they've got this very hot summer going on, and they've lost about 20% of their crop. The Russian wheat crop, usually 97 million tons, it's around 100 million tons in recent years, down to 70 to 75 million. So they've lost 20 million tons at least, 20% of the crop, almost a quarter maybe. So Putin has said no exports of Russian wheat from August 15th to December 1st, and he urges Belarus and Kazakhstan to join him, which as far as I can see they have not done. Just as a result of banning those exports, the price of wheat and bread on the Russian market has gone down 10% in a couple of days, but at the same time, the world market price of wheat went up 8.3%. So I think you've got cross currents. You've got countervailing tendencies. I think it's important to entertain, to be aware of the danger of deflation, because it's there, especially in certain subsets of the economy. But in the overall area, we've still got huge credit lines, huge 24 trillion credit lines available for zombie bankers and hedge fund hyenas. So when you've got the food prices going up, I don't know whether it's possible to entertain the idea of deflation just that much. We're also now, this is the 3-month anniversary today, August 6th, is the 3-month, 90-day anniversary of the flash crash of May 6th. Isn't it interesting that the flash crash in Wall Street on the 6th of May is 5 days before the maximum short interest in the euro, which was reached on the 11th of May? See how these hang together. So what does that mean? That the flash crash somehow was the blitzkrieg against the euro gone wrong? Boomeranging? Was it a preventive jab by somebody in Europe to tell the Anglo-Americans to back off? Was it maybe, who knows, right? You can just look at the economic powers of the world. We know that one of the reasons the euro has held up so well, the euro is now $1.31, so it's gained 10 or 11 or 12 cents in the past 6 weeks or so. So the euro seems to be stabilized. The euro, Trichet, I overestimated the ability of the Anglo-Americans to sabotage Trichet's stress tests. The European stress tests, maybe taking advantage of the European summer holidays. European stress tests are holding up okay, fakery though they were, just like Geithner's. So we'll have to see. But right now, it looks to me like the forces of depression, the 1.5 quadrillion of derivatives, are going to focus on the pound and the dollar. So I think it's too early to say deflation, because that looks more like hyperinflation. But we'll be looking, and we'll be back in a minute.